Welcome to the Blue Cafe. We bring you stories of faith, love, and devotion. Yeah, just kidding, please help us grow by hitting that like button. Now on to the story. AITA for what I told my sister? Not the a-hole. I am not native English speaker, so I apologize for my mistakes. Backstory: I, 18M, have a sister, 16F. About 8 years ago my father dropped a bomb on our family. He cheated and got his affair woman pregnant. My mother was absolutely devastated, but still she tried to get over the affair. But it was hard. This woman would constantly bring over my father's son and everyone hated it. My mother didn't say anything, but I know she suffered every time she saw the kid. My sister in time got fond of him. I never wanted anything to do with him, didn't even interact with him. We lived this nightmare for about 5 years and my mother couldn't take it anymore. She divorced my father and moved out, and I was in full support of that. They asked us who we wanted to live with and I instantly chose my mother. Sister has chosen my father and I see that as a huge betrayal. At this point I didn't consider her as my sister anymore. 2 months later, my father moved her and her child into our old house. I hated it and went LC with my father and sister. But my sister constantly messaged me, behaving like everything is okay, and I always blew her off and gave short answers. Same with my father. Constantly, every week, birthdays, holidays, sending gifts, I just ignored them. So, 2 days ago I was at the party and met this cute boy and we hit it off immediately. I was a little drunk and high. Of course my sister interrupted, like always, and messaged me that something horrible happened. I didn't respond. She calls, I didn't pick up. She messaged that father's son had an accident. Annoyed, I messaged her to leave me alone and I don't care about the little bastard. She messaged that I'm psycho and if I even care about her. I messaged that she's a traitor, and the moment she chose our father she stopped being my sister and she can go ask someone else for emotional support. At this point I turned off my phone. I was with this cute boy the whole day and left my phone at home, turned off. When I came home I turned it on, and over 1,200 messages, 200 calls. Whole family messaged me, from all sides, even unknown people. Apparently my now ex-sister published screenshots of our convo on Facebook. It was up long enough for everyone to see, before our father forced her to take it down. I just deleted and blocked. My mother messaged me that I was in big trouble when I came home. Father messaged that he still loves me and only now he understands how much he hurt me. My friends think I am ducked up and need serious professional help. I disagree, I just don't care. Why should I be for that? So, AITA for what I messaged my sister? Update. So for all to know, I am now a hateful person. I don't hate it. Do I have anger and resentment? Yes. But I don't hate it. Even my dad. I don't hate him, I still love him to my core. I still crave for his attention, his love, to be there for me. He was the best ducking dad ever. I miss him so much and I cry every day for this. He was always the one to make me feel better. But he can't do that now, he is the reason for this. I am so angry with him. Every time he came back I hugged him, saying I love you, all in hope it would clear his fog, and realized his son still needs him. Countless nights I was up wondering what else I can do to make him stay, to win him back. But I knew I failed him when he told his other son he is his favorite. I heard that he doesn't know. Of course he was. On one side it was me, a little sad depressed boy, introvert, distanced, moody and always needy for attention, looking like a zombie every day, not interacting. On the other side it was this beautiful shiny little boy, always smiling and making everyone's day. Of course it was his favorite. And moms and sisters. Whole room shined when he entered, and darkened when I entered. Yes, I was resentful, but I didn't do anything to him. I lost and I wanted to get out. I know it's stupid now, at 18, to even write this. I have grown physically, but emotionally I am still a 10-year-old boy that wants his family so badly. I know that. Everyone moved on and I still stayed the same. Still hoping for my dad and my family to come back. At 1 a.m. in the morning there was loud banging on my door. It was Mum. She was a crying mess, like me. She thought I hurt myself when nobody could reach me for a day and a half. I blocked everyone. She hugged me and wouldn't let go for what seemed like eternity. Then we talked and I told her everything like some here suggested. She was understanding and we cried some more. She wants me to go to therapy ASAP because all this anger and resentment will eat me alive and destroy my life. She said dad, sister and whole family is worried sick about me. I decided I will Skype call my sister today. I don't know about my dad yet cause I don't know if I could look into his eyes. Yes, I am a wimp too. Update 2. This will be my final update. For some very sad, for some happy. So, if you read my previous emotional update you know that my mother came to my apartment. We talked and cried all night. I asked her if there is still something going on between her and my father. She was evasive but admitted that they still feel love for each other. I told her that I resent her for that. She divorced him and then became his AP. She kept him in her life and prevented me from moving on. His son was just meant to an end. Being with his son meant being with him. There was no forgiveness here because nothing changed. She was quiet so I took that as confirmation. Then I Skyped my sister. I apologized for my cruelty. I didn't make excuses. I told her I wrote that with the intention to hurt her. I thought by doing so she would finally realize that I don't want to be a part of her life and to leave me alone. Then we talked and I asked her why she chose to go live with our father. She told me it was because of me. That I was having a really unhealthy attachment to my father, and when the affair was exposed I became a really miserable, dark kid. This whole obsession to keep our parents together was driving her nuts. She couldn't wait for my father's son to come because that meant I was locked in my room or was out of the house for days. It was so much easier to breathe when I wasn't there. Then she said all my father's family felt that way and this is why they distanced from me. I thanked her for her honesty and told her this was a goodbye call. She didn't want that and started crying. I told her that none of this is her fault but our relationship is beyond repair and I don't want to save it. She was really hysterically crying so I wished her all well and ended the call. I got some courage and Skyped my father too. He was a mess as expected. I didn't see him for a very long time and he changed a lot. I apologized to him too and told him I am sorry for his loss. We talked and I told him that I still have very deep love for my dad but that dad died 8 years ago. He hurt me over and over again and he didn't care. I became a non-factor in his life and that broke me. He is the reason that I am the person I am today. I told him that I don't want him in my life anymore and will go North Carolina. He cried that he doesn't want to lose another son and I said we lost each other 8 years ago, then I ended the call. Finally I called my mother. This was the hardest. I told her that I loved her but I can't trust her anymore. She will have people in her life that I don't want to see and it's time we two parted ways. She didn't expect this and was shocked. I told her I was going to North Carolina and will change my phone number and university. Then I told her that she needs therapy too and that she will never be truly happy until she gets rid of my father. I ended the call. Therapy is a no-go currently as I have no money to spare. That's it. Op has offered the following explanation for why they think they might be the asshole. Because I told my sister that she is a traitor and I don't care about her because she has chosen our cheating father. NTA I know most people put her to but I disagree. While I don't think it was right for you to call the kid a little bastard. I don't think just because your sister accepts your father and his affair family that you should be expected to do the same, especially when you've cut contact with them. Right. I don't get it. I wouldn't want to play happy family with my cheating dad, his affair partner and baby either. I feel like cutting them all off is perfectly reasonable. I might also feel some kind of way about my sister making the opposite choice as well. A tragedy occurring doesn't give anyone license to push this guy's perfectly reasonable boundaries or try to make him out to be the bad guy. There is nothing wrong with not wanting to have a relationship with someone, but Op didn't tell that to his sister. Blowing her off and essentially ghosting her does not communicate what Op actually means. The boundaries are reasonable, but he did not communicate them at all, and the way he treated his sister in her grief is not establishing boundaries, it's just plain cruel. Except that it did communicate that. If you keep reaching out to me and I keep blowing you off, it tells you I don't want to talk to you. Sure, it communicates that in the most asshole way possible. Even before the tragedy where he said things specifically to hurt her in her grief, he was being cruel. Everyone on Reddit is telling people to go LC or North Carolina with shitty relatives, but when someone actually does it makes them the apparently. When they do it without an explanation to make it clear why they do it. When they still reply and don't just block. Yes. There is a way to do it, you don't just kinda do it but kinda don't and hope people will get it. Op said he never communicated to his family why he did it. He still replied. The guy you're replying to didn't say anything about going North Carolina or LC, he said that you had to communicate it in some type of way, not just hope that the people you're blocking will somehow read your mind and know how you're feeling. You will also notice that he still calls his dad his father but his sister his ex-sister. Why does he act more angry at the siblings who did nothing wrong? I, 18M, decided to cut everyone off from my life but my family just can't accept it. Hi. I posted my story elsewhere, you can find it in my profile with my comments. But, long story short, I, 18M, had a pretty bad childhood. Lots of trauma. It started with my father's infidelity and the result of it was a child. My mother wanted to fix things and get over it. My father was very involved with his new child's life and he was at our house a lot, but I didn't want anything to do with him. I was usually locked in my room or with my friends when he was at our house. After 5 years my mother divorced my father, moved out and I went with her. My younger sister stayed with my father, which I considered as betrayal. I went to LC with my father and sister. I didn't want to go to North Carolina because I knew my mother would be devastated. My plan was to be distant, LC and wait until our lives naturally drift apart. The problem was that my mother forgave my father and was pretty much involved in his child's life. I couldn't move on because of this. Then tragedy happened and my sister reached out to me but I responded in a very cruel way. She posted my response on FB and shitstorm started. I went North Carolina with everyone. After a couple of days and talking with my mother and suggestions from Redditors here, I decided to set firm boundaries with my family. I Skyped my sister, mother and father that I don't want a relationship with them anymore and will go North Carolina. Now, the problem is that they know where I live and are still bugging me. I will transfer to another university but can do that only next year as I missed the deadline. I don't even have money to change my phone number at the moment. My mother is literally camping in her car outside my apartment. Sister was there for some time. They are devastated and want to save me. I don't want to come out. I have had food for about 2 weeks, but sooner or later I will have to come out. I don't know what to do. I try to set boundaries and it doesn't work. I kind of devised a plan to start communicating with everyone until next year, pretending everything is okay, and when my transfer is complete I will just disappear, change my phone number and move on. But I know my mother will not and will forever search for me. I am at a dead end and I really need some suggestions. Thank you. I think it's super important that people read Op's other posts. They paint a much clearer picture and explain a lot more. I wish he would edit the original post. A lot of people are all really mean to him, but it's more complicated. The main thing is that the extended family basically treated him like trash when he was just like 6 years old for being overly close with his father. Yeah, they punished the child instead of the dad for whatever reason. So after the affair and new child, the half-brother became the golden child that all the previously distant family latched onto. Then mom began an affair with dad, going behind the previous SAP's back, using the half-brother as an excuse. Then Op overheard his father saying the half-brother was his favorite son, and basically the whole family essentially replaced Op with a shiny new son. After all of this, Op was quite emotionally hurt and started to lash out. People around him simply took this as proof they were right to not like him, even though they're part of why he's like this to begin with. Only now, as Op is starting to spiral in a really psychological damaged way, are people in his life trying to help him. But it's too little too late for him, and just doesn't feel honest or heartfelt to him. Like they're trying to put little band-aids on a gaping wound. North Carolina is honestly the best choice emo, simply because being around the family is preventing him from healing. Maybe one day he can forgive his family and work things out, but now is not the time. Op, if you read this, please look into universities' programs to see if there's any free or discounted mental health outreach. You need a good third party that's not involved with your past to help you out, and get your life on a good path for yourself. I'm wishing you all the best luck, and I assure you that you can make this work. I'm glad you took the time to write this out. It paints a much clearer picture. Reading the Op's post, I had a different picture of events. Additionally, the Op can call the police and explain that he's no contact from his family and they are currently sitting outside his home. The police, one of the few ways they might be helpful, can swing by and make the mother and any other unwanted visitors move on for right now. Piggybacking on this, I understand why Op wants to go to North Carolina. I haven't really read his previous posts, but I have felt what he felt, though only to some degree. I do believe that him cutting his family off doesn't mean it'll stunt his healing and growth. I believe it'll help him start healing, and give him a clear mind of his childhood. I hope that I can move out soon. I did patch things up with my mother, but I believe I haven't fully healed because I still live on the same roof as her. I want to live alone and have a clear mind without other people who have contributed to the pain I had when I was a child. Definitely, there's a whole lot of trauma Op is going to have to work through, and it doesn't sound like his family is going to help that at all. We hope you have enjoyed today's episode. Please comment, like and subscribe. Cheers. Have a wonderful day or night, wherever you are.